American Pie came back after a 10+ year absence and brought out American Pie Presents Girls Rules. And I can tell you now, after watching that film, that they should have left this franchise well in the past, and there was a reason the franchise ended. And I'll tell you why. Simply for the fact that this was an absolute shit show, and I don't even know where to start with this review. I suppose let's go with the positives. I think the idea of switching the roles, having it be about the girls this time, chasing the boys, going out with them, trying to lose their virginities, I think that was a different kind of prospect, a different kind of idea, and it felt unique. That's the positives done. I mean, the negatives outweigh the positive massively. Starting off with the fact that this felt like I was watching a High School Musical. There was nothing in that film that made me think this is an American Pie film, apart from the fact that they kept on cooking pies every 2 minutes. That's not what American Pie is, and eating pie. There was a whole segment of them eating pie while I think somebody was doing something at the same time. It was so forgettable, it was unbelievable, but that's the only thing that went, okay, I can see what they're trying to do about the American Pie thing. And the funniest thing about this is the easiest thing that you could have done to make this feel like an American Pie movie is have Eugene Levy. Where was he? He wasn't even in the film. Get it? He's probably doing outside projects and thought, how am I fuck being in another American Pie sequel because this one's going to absolute bomb, and it did. And I mean, yeah, I think it missed his presence of making it feel like an American Pie film. The antic at the beginning just wasn't good enough. It was like, okay, she's gone over across a fence, jumped into his bedroom, tried sucking him off, and then it goes terribly wrong, and it's not really an antic as such. It's not funny. I'm not laughing at it. I just thought, that it? Come on, we can do better than that. I suppose it's better than fucking a sandwich like the Book of Love did. So, technically, it weren't too bad. Some of the other stuff in the film was questionable, like the Stifler that was in this film was awful. I mean, she had no clue about what the American Pie franchise was, clearly, because a Stifler is meant to act a certain way, and I get it, a lad's going to act differently to a woman, but the perfect template was there on the screen of the very first American Pie film. You needed to act like Stifler's mother. You needed to act like Jennifer Coolidge. There was a whole thing. You've got to act like a younger version of that character. And I felt she just absolutely shit the bed too. She was forgettable. She was actually friends with everyone. It doesn't feel like she was the presenter as some sort of top shagger without giving us any evidence of being a top shagger. I mean, apart from at the end, but that didn't show anything. You could have literally labelled her as a virgin and people would have rolled with that sort of title because she didn't do anything to show that she was a top shagger or could pull any of the lads. The lad that she tried pulling literally rejected her, and that would not happen with a Stifler, not in that fashion anyways. So yeah, I thought that was a bit skew-whiff. I didn't mind the idea of having one of them being a virgin and then one or two of the others being a bit more experienced or whatever. One was addicted to sex toys and JFK for some reason, but hey-ho. It was very weird, very patchy. I didn't think the chemistry was quite there neither. Felt that there was a lot of bitchiness, which maybe that was a bit weird, but I'm not bothered about that as such. Yeah, it was just a bit of a car crash. There was nothing keeping it funny. I think there's not really any nudity in this. What I expected, I'm going to be honest, and it's not what I wanted, but what I expected is, since its roles reversed, I expected them to show more male nudity. I expected that sort of thing of an arse cheek or a bollock or something like that, which I wouldn't want to see, right? But the fact that if you're doing it roles reverse, what the women's side is going to be looking is more that sort of stuff. Or chests, pecs, those sorts of things. Obviously with the men doing it, obviously they showed tits and asses and shit like that of the women. So I fully expected, not because I wanted it, not at all, but I fully expected that since it's the roles reversed, because now you're trying to appeal to the women audience, you're the female audience that watch these kind of films. Not just trying to pander to the blokes, in which they kind of did, but kind of didn't at the same time, because again, they didn't really show any sort of edgy, raunchy, like, stuff to add in. There weren't no tit shots, I don't think. There weren't no ass shots. There weren't nothing like that made you feel like, oh, it's an American Pie film. And don't get me wrong, you don't need that. But it then makes it feel soft from what you've seen. Like in Beta House, it felt like every scene was a tit shot. Everything was like a nudity angle, or they're trying to push the boat out, showing it's an American Pie film. Like I said, this may as well have been High School Musical, because that's all it felt like, with a little bit of pushing it to the 12 range. That's about it. I don't think it really went into anything, and yeah, I'm going to be honest, I don't think this will be a film I'll watch again. I think Annie, as a main character as well, I don't know, just weren't that interesting. I'm going to admit, I just think a lot of it was a mess. And technically she fancied her now new stepbrother. It was a little bit weird, I'm not going to lie. But do let us know your thoughts down in those comments down below. Do you enjoy this American Pie film? Or is this another one of those forgettable sequels that you do not give a shit about? Because in my opinion, that's where it lands. And that's why I rate it a 5 out of 10. Do let us know your thoughts down in those comments down below. And if you haven't yet seen some of our other American Pie movie reviews or any of our other videos, including our Everything Changed videos, check those out now. And I'll see you fine folks in the next one. Later.